Hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another review here. Depending on which channel you're looking at, either mine, Thomas Opened, or as you can see, I am joined by,
Dutchbeergeek.
so it could be very well that you're watching this on his channel, and we are filming the final beer in the Moersleutel 8th anniversary set. Been a hell of a ride. We didn't film all of them together. Gerben, what was your favorite, do you think, so far?
Ooh, I think it was the not the last one, but and not the triple IPA, but the one before that was a stout, as I remember, but
Uh,
was kind of pretty four core stout, if I remember correctly. Don't know which
let me.
one
Yeah,
that.
Mars was the one with the caramel. Saturn had like mega pastry stout. I think it had coconut and God, what has Saturn again? I forgot. But yeah, Saturn was like the big pastry stout, and Mars was like four core ish, as in it had caramel, I believe. But
Yeah.
it was actually it wasn't that pastry. It was relatively four core ish, I suppose.
For so far, I think Mars is my favorite of them all. I
I
think.
I think I would probably say I really liked Mercury, the first IPA.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think I probably Earth, the Nitro Stout, or I really loved Uranus, the previous barrel aged one.
Yeah.
It was. I'm not gonna say like two dimensional. It could have been a little bit more complex, but it like really packed a punch. So I like that one. And I'm kind of curious as to what we have here. So, how about you tell us a little bit about the beer, and when you're done, I'll read the story time that's not on the label but on Untapped.
Yeah. Okay. We got a beer with the name Neptune. It's a mega pastry barrel aged stout, 14%. It says maple syrup, pistachio, and coffee. Um, it is aged on Marsala fortified wine barrels from Sicily. And the ingredients are water, barley malt, spelt rye, oats, wheat, hops, and yeast, and maple syrup, pistachio, and coffee. So that's a mouthful.
Uh, Again, by the way, with the rye.
Yeah, all the
I think
beers from this series are made with rye.
I think there was one that didn't have it, but I don't remember which one. Because I
Okay.
was surprised that there was one that didn't have the rye, but other than that, they all got like rye in it.
Yeah.
So since they got the new label style, they don't put the story time on the label anymore. So it's
Hmm.
on either the website itself or on Untapped. So Untapped has this to say: Neptune's remote and mysterious nature proved to be the perfect inspiration to end our 8-year anniversary celebration with a bang. The base beer is thick and received a generous dose of additions, liters of fresh maple syrup, kilos of pistachio nuts, and many more premium coffee beans were carefully prepared for this recipe. You should have smelled the brewery when we were working with these ingredients. Divine. This base beer rested for 12 months in Marsala fortified wine barrels from Sicily, adding a beautiful layer of herbal and nutty flavors while embracing the sweet, spicy notes of the additions in our base beer. So be careful. Be careful now, as a sip of this beer can easily evoke inner enlightenment. Are you ready for a journey to new heights and flavor sensations, Sleutelaar? Thank you for celebrating our anniversary with us. Here's to many more Sleutel beers. Cheers. There is one thing I would like to say about this set. I've said it in my previous review. I'm going to say it in this one, and I know you've said it a couple of times as well. I enjoyed, in its own way or one form or another, basically every beer in this set. It's a bit boring, isn't it?
Yeah. Um, I agree on the first IPA was pretty nice. The second one I thought it was way too sweet and The rest of the stouts were okay, not mind-blowing, but very solid. So I'm kind of hoping this one is gonna blow my mind. But
But not just that, also only IPAs and stouts.
yeah, I
We
said it at the
know.
beginning of the series as well. They make a lot of great beers. They recently did a quadruple. I saw a wheat beer of them.
We
Um,
know they've done sours in the past. Like I'm not even talking about the Zomerdijk sours, but I'm like kettle sours. You know, they've done
yeah,
them in the past. A little bit more variety in this set
yeah,
would have been fun. I would have
yeah,
appreciated that. Yeah, but
definitely.
it is what it is. I mean, I suppose we're just going to crack this beer
Yeah,
and hope for the best. I'm always very careful with opening these Moersleutel cans because they're often very full. Oh yeah, that's. That looks like a typical Moersleutel beer, except that maybe I'm going to take a picture. I can take a picture. I can send you the picture later if you would like.
yeah,
The only thing that I might have to say right now is that for a Moersleutel stout, it didn't pour incredibly thick. Not thin. I'm not saying thin, but I've seen thicker stouts by Moersleutel. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
I'm just going to quickly figure this out. Yeah, so I can put something over the can because there's like little fruit flies over here. All right, so enough yapping. You want to go see what this bad boy has in terms of the nose?
Yeah.
Let's
Let's go.
check it out.
Whoa.
You can go
Definitely
first.
the wine barrel in there.
Yeah, that's the first thing that I'm getting. I'm getting that sort of. Um, it's both a little bit like sweet, but like drying as well. I get a lot of oak. I get a
Yeah.
lot of that spicy, like that spicy note from the marsala. Slightly drying. There is a sweetness to it. There's a fruitiness to it. But right now, I'm getting a lot of that marsala barrel.
Yeah.
That sort of like vinous character. And after that, there's the first hints of like chocolate and that typical Moersleutel licorice thing.
Yeah.
Um, like that sort of we always say Engelse drop in Dutch, but
Yeah.
it's like the licorice all sorts, that thing.
Maybe getting some nutty notes at the back.
Yeah, that's actually really what I'm looking for because I love pistachios. I love pistachio ice cream. I'm a big fan. It doesn't scream. There's a nuttiness to it for sure, but it doesn't scream like pistachio.
No, no, no.
Maybe that's going to open up in a little while. I mean, we talk about these things often. Beers like this, they often need a little bit to breathe. You know, what we're having right now is going to be completely different in like 30 minutes. So that's always a bit of a problem with reviews like this, of course. But there's something else there. There's something like a sort of like an aniseedy, herbaceous. It's not what I expected.
No. In a good way, or?
I'm not sure yet. I like what I'm smelling. No, but I like what I'm smelling, and I'm gonna wait until everything calms down a little bit and you get a little bit more of the flavor and everything starts to work together. But right now, and I mean, it says there like it's Moersleutel. It says mega pastry barrel aged stout, and even though it's pretty potent, nothing here screams mega pastry.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you getting any coffee on the nose?
No, more chocolatey, nutty,
Bit of
red wine,
caramel, maybe?
the wine barrels, but not
Yeah.
really getting any coffee yet.
I mean, let me put it this way. I'm getting like hints of coffee as I would in a stout like this, but when they're talking about lots of coffee beans, I'm not getting that like coffee stout aroma.
No.
Actually, now I know what I'm getting. Now I know what I'm getting. So it's a coffee stout, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's also a year old.
Okay, yeah.
So the coffee's going to fade a little bit, and I'm getting a hint of that green bell pepper thing. The groene paprika, green bell pepper, sort of like that pepper, the green bell pepper thing that I get when coffee starts to age a little bit in stout.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting. This was canned on. When do you think this was canned?
Uh, a year ago?
No, not a year ago. It was canned on April the 4th of this year. Now,
Oh,
including the fact that this aged for 12 months, it said so for
yeah.
12 months on the. So this beer is almost a year and a half old.
Yeah.
So take that into consideration when you start thinking about the impact of the coffee on the nose.
Yeah.
And that's what's giving me sort of like that green bell pepper.
Yeah.
See, that makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah. It would be a completely different beer when it's not that old.
Agreed. And I'm not talking like ages, and it's an old beer, but like we said, coffee fades, and when this was brewed, I'm counting from the moment that it was brewed. Stupid little
Yeah.
fruit fly. So that means it's a year and 4 months, almost 5 months old right now at time of reviewing. So that does a thing. That does some stuff to coffee and a beer. You want to go dive into this and see what we can find in terms of the palate?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I've seen something new, what the Americans are doing these days when they're doing shared reviews. You know what they do?
No.
No, you have to go the other way. You have to go the other way. Cheers.
Cheers. Mm,
Oh my.
wow.
Wow.
That's complex.
Sorry?
That's pretty complex. A lot of flavors.
That does a lot more. That does a lot more than I expected it would do. The first thing that I'm going to say, I'm getting a little bit more of what I could suppose now that I know what it is. I can identify as pistachio. It's still not a pistachio bomb, but it gets a little bit more towards that, like that creaminess that you get. Maybe the mouthfeel helps, that creaminess that you get from pistachio ice cream, and then you get the nuttiness
Yeah.
and everything. So maybe that's helping with the pistachio sort of vibe. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's quite sweet.
Yeah, quite sweet.
It's definitely sweet, but it ends with, I mean, what was it, like liters and liters of maple syrup, they said. So and you definitely get that maple syrup. But in the finish, it ends a little bit more dry.
Yeah.
A lingering sweetness, but yeah. Mouthfeel is a lot thicker than it is compared to how it poured.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you're hearing music in the background, I have a festival thingy quite close by. So if you're hearing something in the background, just saying.
Now I can see why they call it a mega pastry barrel aged stout.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now back to the beer itself, right? Because I want to talk a little bit about the beer itself. I'm still not getting hit buckets and buckets of coffee, at least not more than I would in an average Moersleutel stout. That sort of licorice thing is still there, but not that prominent. It's kind of nutty. It's definitely got that caramelly vibe from the Moersleutel stout itself, but there's that big earthy, more natural sweetness that I like from the maple syrup. I think in terms of what I'm getting in the flavor of the adjuncts, the maple syrup is definitely the most forward one.
Yeah. But do you get any barrel in there taste wise?
So there's definitely that Marsala thing. I'm not the biggest. I've only had like my frame of reference with Marsala is very limited, but I know what it is. And if you compare it to things like other fortified wines, you have that fortified wine thing. I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of the sweeter versions of Marsala, one of the darker ones, because I'm getting this sort of spice, sort of like dried figs, dried raisins component that I would get from like a tawny port.
Yeah.
If this was a mystery beer or somebody just poured me a sample and go like, sure, try this, what do you think? I would have guessed a tawny port barrel compared to some of the tawny port beers that I've had. It has that sort of slightly more mature complexity to it. That spiciness, that herbal note, herbaceousness, that dried figs, dried raisins component thing going on. Definitely oaky. I've had bigger oak in beers, but it's definitely oaky. It's there, probably helping in the drying component in the finish. How about you?
I really like this one. I'm not just gonna say this is the best beer from the series, but it's kind of up there. Really loving the complexity of it. Getting
Agreed.
lots of flavors. Really getting the nuttiness, some chocolate. The barrel is in there as well. It's pretty
Mhm.
sweet, but there's maple syrup in it. So and the barrel is also adds some sweetness to it, I think.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of surprised, yeah, how good this is. I was not expecting this at all.
No, it went a bit up and down for me because when I was reading everything, I'm like, yeah, this could be fun. This could definitely be up there with some of the better barcodes. Contrary to some fans who basically keep saying that all barcodes were amazing beers, there were a few that none of the barcodes were bad, but there were a few that were not like top tier or anything. They were good, but not like amazing. Um, but this is definitely up there. I'm not sure which one I liked better, the previous barrel aged one or this one.
I like this better than the previous one. I thought the previous one was it was okay, but I expected a bit more from the Moersleutel in the 8-year anniversaries as a barrel aged stout. But
I think that what I liked about that one is that it was basically a four-core stout on barrels, and
yeah,
compared to a lot of the Moersleutel previous barrel-aged beers, I think I mentioned that in my review as well. A lot of them are, of course, adjunct beers on different kinds of barrels, and this was basically just it was two different types of barrels, but it was a
yeah,
four-core beer. This one offers a little bit more like it's a little bit more dynamic. There's a little bit more going on.
yeah.
I also feel that maybe, and this is something that I have with a lot of these Moersleutel beers, um, Sorry, by the way, for saying this. I just noticed this. For anybody who's viewing this and going like, "Where the hell is Thomas watching?" There's my camera, but from my point of view, because I'm doing this on my laptop, there's Gerben. So I'm looking at Gerben because I feel that's polite. But Gerben's probably thinking like, "Where the hell is that asshole looking at?" Having said that, the other one, this one, I'm afraid. I think because of that big sweetness, this one can be a bit much, and it is a 440. You know, the other can was easier to drink by myself. It might have been more straightforward, a little bit less complex, but it was definitely there. It was bold, it was powerful, and I felt that it was easier to drink that one by myself. This
Yeah.
one, I might be wrong. We'll see when we're at the end of the can, but I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere like halfway in, I'm like, I wish I could have shared this with somebody. And
Yeah.
then I don't want to share it with somebody because this is an expensive beer and I just want to drink it all by myself. Because I'm a greedy bastard like that. It's nice though.
Mm. Yeah. I like it.
It's good. It's fun. I don't think this was their best anniversary set
No. No.
because it was a little bit. I mean, the previous one was. No, the previous one had like a barley wine in it, I believe.
Yeah.
It had like a barley wine that was blended with some sort of old beer, or what was it again? They had this weird. Remember, I forgot what it was, but they had this weird thing where they had a blend of like young beer and old beer and barrel aged, and I don't remember exactly, but it had more variety.
Yeah. They did. I think it was the second year anniversary or third anniversary. They had some, I think, a Berliner Weiss in there and a lot more variety.
Hmm.
And this was, yeah, just like only stouts and IPAs. Was
Um, I don't know if anybody from Moorslotel watches these reviews. I have no idea. I mean, I'm digging it, but honest to God, yeah, I really hope that if they're watching this, they're going to take into consideration next year, guys. Please, you know how to make a nice little wit beer. You know, give us a lovely barrel aged barley wine. Um, do something with that. You guys have made quite a variety of interesting stuff. So, play with that. And I guess that they're part of their way of thinking might have been, yeah, we're Moorslotel and we're mostly known for big stouts, big barrel aged beers, and IPAs now. So they want to showcase that. I suppose I understand, but personally, I mean, it's getting repetitive that we keep saying this, but you know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah. So let's hope for next year they add some more styles to the series. Because every year there's one more beer. So
Yeah, that's going to be so much fun when they're 25 years old. That should be interesting. Gerben, I do no longer. That was very bad. I no longer rate my beers on Untapped. You know this. You, however, still do. What
yeah.
would be your final rating for Moorslotel's Neptune?
Somewhere between a 4 and a 4.25, I think. I love this. Yeah, this is really nice. It's a sipper. It's sweet,
Mhm.
but yeah. And
I basically agree.
I'm not
Mhm.
gonna say it's the best one out of the series, but it's pretty much number 2 or number 1. I don't know, somewhere in between them.
For a beer that's being advertised as amongst several things having pistachio and coffee in it, if both of those elements were a bit more potent in the final product, I would if I would still be giving ratings, I would gladly give this a 4.25 or a little bit higher. You know, you can, if you, I don't know if I can, but I know you can do tenths as well. You know, you can get like a 4.1, 4.2. I could see this getting like a 4.3. Right
Yeah.
now, because of that, I would probably give it like a 4.1. It's a it's a delicious barrel aged stout. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about it. But yeah, it just on those two levels, it feels a little bit short for me.
Yeah.
But other than that, you know, I'm not complaining.
No,
And
not at all.
at 14%, it's gonna get you where you want to go.
Yeah.
So that's at least something. Oh, you know what I just realized? This is so stupid.
Oh.
This was up on the screen the entire time.
Oh, really?
Well, I'm so sorry. I mean, nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna care. They're never gonna know. I did the introduction. Do you want to do the outro?
Yes, I will. So this was the last one of the 8-year anniversary series. I don't know if we're gonna do it this next year, probably, but we
We'll see.
might. But yeah, if you wanna follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever, YouTube, please subscribe to our channels. I always say, if you want to know the score, go to my Untapped. You can find me there. I'm also on the Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, all over the place. So stay tuned for more reviews on my channel, but also on the channel of Thomas Opens. That's about it for me.
I would like to quickly add that for me, it's always if you like the video, hit like. If you really like the video, hit that subscribe button. But you already said about the subscribing. In the description box below, you'll find links to all of my social media, a link to the Dutch Beer Collective, and a link to mysterybeer.nl. So please follow the rest of the guys in the Dutch Beer Collective. That will be Remy and Douglas. Go check them out as well. Leave some comments. We always love comments. Be them negative, be them positive, be them that you just feel that we're a bunch of douchebags who should just shut the hell up. We're going to shut the hell up soon, so don't worry. You know, you'll be fine. Thank you for watching the entire video, by the way. Even if you hated it, if you watched the entire thing, that's still good for our analytics and our statistics. So, you know, yay. Haters gonna hate. And I guess that's it then.
Yeah.
I had a blast. Thank you so much for doing this, Kevin.
Yeah. Cheers.
See you later, bro. Cheers.
Cheers.